Shalom. Welcome to Mount Zion. Mount Zion is located just outside the old city of Jerusalem, outside the Zion Gate. The sights to see on Mount Zion all come from the upper city of David. They are the room of the Last Supper, the traditional site of King David's tomb, and Peter and Gallicantu. This is a location of one of the most famous rooms in all of Christianity. This is the site of the Last Supper, or the upper room, as well as the place where Pentecost started. While this would not have actually been the room that the Last Supper would have taken place in, tradition holds that this would have been the location. The footers for this building are actually the foundations of the 1st century building. This building was actually built during the Crusader era. During this room's history, it has been used by the Crusaders, Muslims, Christians, and the first floor is used by the Jews. Matthew 26, starting in verse 17. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat the Passover?" He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him the teacher says, 'My appointed time is near. I am going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house.'" So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them and prepared the Passover. Located directly below the upper room is the tomb of one of the greatest and most well-known kings of Israel. During the 12th century, King David's tomb was moved to this location and it has been here since. It is actually now an Orthodox synagogue, so anytime that you enter there will be Jewish people praying. The actual tomb is a stone sarcophagus covered with a tapestry. This is the church of Peter and Gallicantu. This is the site named after the spot where Peter denied Christ for the 3rd time. It is also so much more than that. This site is one of the most touching sites that you would visit on your tour of the Holy Land. Tradition and archaeology holds that this is most likely the house of Caiaphas, the high priest during the time of Jesus. In these, the lowest levels of the building, we find a guard room that would have had places to shackle prisoners to the wall, and below this we will find a one-cell prison. The prisoner would have been lowered down by ropes into the hole in the ceiling until their feet were barely touching the ground. Tradition holds that this is most likely the place where Jesus would have been held the night of his arrest after being taken to Caiaphas' house. We can be almost for certain that this is most likely the house of the high priest, because just outside the house they found mikvahs, or Jewish baptismal pools, that only the high priest would have had at their house. Thank you for exploring Mount Zion with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next site.